This is the Political Spotlight.
The Political Spotlight is a joke. It's more like a political flop.
Nobody listens to Bilbrey.
He's just a wannabe podcaster. No one takes him seriously.
He is a rude, crude dude that will never go any further than broadcasting from his mother's basement.
Bilbrey is a wrecking ball for Indiana politicians.
Grab another box of Twinkies and generic cola, Bilbrey.
And get back to your microphone and your audience of nobody.
The Political Spotlight is a joke.
It's more like a rude, crude dude that will never go
Bilbrey's a wrecking ball for Indiana politicians. Shut that stupid Bilbrey up.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this, I'm reading that comment. Welcome to this 651st episode of the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, and it is a dark and stormy night. Ooh, what a great night. Hopefully it's still doing this while I'm off, and I can turn all the lights off down here in the cave, in the basement, and I can turn on some spooky TV and drift off to sleep with the thunder and lightning. That would be amazing. Hey, I hope you guys are doing well. We've got a lot to talk about tonight, and I promise you all, if Amazon works the way it's supposed to, tonight is the final night of the connectivity issues that we have down here. We are now hooked up. 2 out of 3 of our computers are hooked directly to Ethernet. Our final computer to hook to Ethernet will be connected tomorrow if Amazon does what it's supposed to do. And that will be this computer right here in front of me, and everything will be running smoothly. And we're going to be moving a couple things around. We have been planning a little bit of a shift in the studio. So tomorrow night when you come in, things might look a little bit different. So that'll be kind of a fun thing for you guys to check out tomorrow. So maybe look where everything is and see how everything is, because I think tomorrow it might be just a little bit different. But as I've told you, this is a living and breathing organism here. So things will change. I tell you, I ordered right when I first started setting the studio up. Kate turned me on to this banners on the cheap, banners for cheap or something like that. And I ordered this banner that is like 3 feet by 5 feet, 3 feet by 4 feet, something like that. 36 inches was in there somewhere, I know. And it would have basically fit, the banner would have fit on the very top of, on the top of the desk forward, but I realized you can't see the front of the desk, so I don't need to do that. I also realized that it was our old logo. And so I quickly made a new one, and I made it with the new logo, and I made it double-sided. I made it with the new studio, my new little action figure of me, the cartoon figure of me in the new studio. But I absolutely hit the wrong sizes, and I got it like double the size. So it's like 5 feet by 8 feet. So I can't even hang it anywhere in here. It's like something that I need to hang on the outside of the wall as you're coming in, so you guys will never see it, but maybe I can take pictures in front of it or something, but it's going to look cool. So we got some changes we're going to do in here. We're going to be getting to that soon. Hey, besides all of the housekeeping issues, we have a lot of things that we have going on here, politically, government-wise, that we need to talk about tonight for tonight's episode. Yes, there's a space show. See, I'm glad you guys are seeing things like that. So if we'll take a real quick tour around the room. Starting here, we've got this plant, and we've got an old Dewart Lake cup up here with the anchor, and my dad's golden elephant with the trunk up. and my dad's Thin Blue Line band that he wore on his right wrist for the entire time I was in law enforcement. And then all my little creatures here. We got a red-headed woodpecker. That's stands for my grandmother because she's, a red-headed woodpecker. And then we got all these other little creatures along here. And we've got an RC Cola for Mr. John Sproles. We've got the Twinkie sign here. We've got the basement sign up here in back. We've got the mental ward sign back up here behind me that you guys can see sometimes. Sometimes you can't see it. And then we've got we've got the globe, and I have a space shuttle glued to the globe. I have something really cool here, but it's hidden. It's hidden by this computer. But very, very soon, this computer won't be here, and you'll get to see what's hidden here. And we're going to also do some other things. I have my bank of phones that you guys can't see. My bank of phones are behind me. Those are going to come to the forward at some point. Okay, so you guys will get to see that. I obviously have my soundboard here and a bunch of little creatures and things that I need. Moving over here to the other side, we've got my old-fashioned microphone, my on-air sign, my little Samsung creature, some dice with all 1s and 5s on it. That's a thing. We also have a little creature that my stepdad made when he was in 8th grade. My ice cold cola sign. We have my my official 1970s lava lamp. We have my B for Bilbrey. And then something that you can't see here. Here's my first place Kumite martial arts. My fighting, one of my first place trophies when I was in martial arts. A stone fish, some police officers, some handcuffs, a gun, a pack of golden playing cards, Raphael, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and then what I have here, look, and this is hidden. One of these days, you guys will get to see this. I have this is what's this? Remember Green Light Lantern or whatever the hell Dustin's thing was called? I actually found one of these things. So Dustin Clark, stick it up your ass. All right, moving on. To the front of the desk here, we have my clock here that tells me a time, but I'm never on time. I have a soundboard button. I have my laptop. I have some little needle things here. We have a cross that was my dad's, and the world, a globe, my pins. We have my gun of the week that's right here. It's going to start changing periodically, so that's there. That's new today. Right now, that's a Beretta. I forget what the letter is. It's a 92. It's a 9mm Beretta. Nice Italian-made gun. And so that's that. That's the tour. But yeah, so check in tomorrow because things are going to be looking a little bit different here. So you know, it's that. That is the Randy Howard memorabilia. The trophy. I was karate chopping it up. I took a Japanese style Taekwondo from the time I was 8 years old until the time I was 18. I went all the way up through it and did all those things. But you know what? As an actual grown adult, I don't just continue talking about it. And I don't pull out these certificates from 1959 when I was given a purple belt. You know what I mean? That's kind of weird. I grew up and moved on, you know, wedding bells are breaking up that old gang of mine. So, all right. Hey, talking about seriousness and getting to it, we've got a guest that we're going to get to here in just a few moments. Before we get to that guest, I do want to let you know we have basically a 3-subject show this evening. We have a candidate interview. In just a few moments, we're going to be talking with our candidate. He's a candidate that's running as a Republican for the Delaware County Commissioner seat in District 3. That's Don Chambers. Actually, we were supposed to talk with him last week, and we had a couple things that kind of came up and it got weird, and that was my fault, not his. So, I take all the blame for that, but he's here tonight, and that's what matters. So we're going to be talking with him first and foremost. Then after Mr. Chambers, we're going to move on. We were only going to then talk about the Sproles things, but however, we got some breaking news today. We got some important breaking news in the form of a major announcement from the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office. That's right. The Delaware County Prosecutor's Office released a press release along with all of the pertinent the records and public access information that we need. An arrest has been made and formal charges have been filed relating to the death of Delaware County Sheriff's Corporal Blake Reynolds, who was tragically struck while he was assisting a motorist. He was struck by a semi-tractor trailer on I-69 northbound in the early morning hours of November 12th, 2025. The man who hit Corporal Reynolds, his name is, it's probably not important, but let's get to it. Yeah, it's Teddy Johnson, Teddy M. Johnson. A lot of people were concerned about whether this man was, Mexican or Guatemalan, and I think he ended up that he was from someplace. I don't believe that I don't know if he's an American citizen or not, but I believe they said he had some kind of heritage or culture from outside of America. But I do believe that they said he was a citizen. It's not like he was here illegally. But he was arrested today on a warrant, a sealed warrant, and formally charged. He's been booked into the Delaware County Jail on count 1, reckless homicide, a level 5 felony. Count 2, involuntary manslaughter, a level 5 felony. Count 3, failure to change lanes for an authorized emergency vehicle, a level 6 felony. Count 4, reckless operation of a tractor trailer combination, a class B misdemeanor. So we're going to be talking about those charges and the probable cause affidavit and all of that. And then we're going to end the show. We're going to end the show with the Sproles talk. And that was just an absolute train wreck. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the breaking news thing that we kind of talked about a little bit last night. I made a short about it today, and so we're going to talk all about that and kind of what's going on there. So we've got a packed show. So before it gets any further, the night gets any further away from us, we're going to go ahead and get to it. We're going to bring up our guest, Mr. Don Chambers. We're going to welcome him to the show. Let me pull him up here on stage. Get this here. Mr. Chambers, can you hear us? Okay. And can we hear Mr. Chambers out there in TV land? Give us an old 1-2 test and say hello for us.
1, 2, 3.
All right. They're saying good. Yeah. Good morning. Good evening. One of the other. We're going to pause here for a second because they say that you are quiet. Let me see if I can raise our volume at all. Maybe I might need to have you. Talk just a hair louder if you can. Why can I not see you? I should be able to see you on here. Okay, now we can see you. We can see you. There we go. That's good. We can see you, and can you hear him? Kate? Yeah, you're going to talk. Well, they're saying no, but let me understand. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on here. Yes, he is. He is the opponent of Matt Kantz. Yes, that is his opponent. Let me. Okay, go ahead and say something here, sir. Oh, I don't understand. Okay, let me see something here. Hold on. We're something funky's going on. I got to figure out what this is. Okay, let me see something here. Hold on. Let me understand why I can't get this. Why this is a problem. I want to make sure here. Give me 1 second. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hang up on you, and I'm going to call you back and send you through another way. I'll try that in just 1 second. I'll call you right back on this method. Dear Lord, please, please. All right. So I need to go in my mind because we're not connecting through him through the regular way. So I'm trying to connect through him through a different way. So I'm going through that mic, this mic, that camera into that soundboard into this computer. So you guys, to be able to hear him, we need to have him okay, let me see. Let me make sure. All right, and you can hear me, Don, right? All right, let me see if I can get them to hear you now. This should be doing much better.
Better now?
Now. Yes, now they can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
I knew we could figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
And that was my fault there, not yours. So I apologize for that.
Nope, you're no big deal.
All right, brother. So, you're Don Chambers. You are a lifelong Delaware County resident.
Yes, I went to Delville, graduated from Delville Junior Senior High School. After that, I served in the military for 4 years. After that, I never really thought I have a long line of family that's been involved in politics, and I never thought I'd ever want to get into it.
Sure.
Then all of a sudden, I see things at what I'm doing that I don't like, and I'm just thinking that all I want to do is help people out in Delaware County all the way around. There doesn't seem like there's too many. To me, it doesn't seem like there's too many options for like drug rehab or I mean, there is out there, but not enough. And then also for homelessness, something for veterans. We're just not doing enough as Delaware County. And that's my thing.
Yeah. So, before we get much into the political push, you are currently the superintendent of the maintenance and buildings for the Delaware County Government, correct? So that means you're in charge of basically the day-to-day operations of the Delaware County building, also the Justice Center, and basically any Delaware County buildings, correct?
It's all Delaware County buildings.
Okay. And so
911 and everything.
Okay. And you've been in that role for just a little over a year now? Right out of a year?
April 13th would made it a year, so it's just a little over. So.
Okay. And so, I mean, is it safe to say that kind of being thrown into the mix with that, you were able to see a little bit more and kind of getting to see how things are working from the inside, and maybe that's what helped kind of push you into deciding to run? Is that is that safe to say?
That's the main reason right there. Just seeing that things that I didn't like, I don't feel like they're helping anybody in Delaware County out. It's just more about taxes, raising property taxes and stuff. And I'm just not all about that.
Yeah. Okay. And so, when, is this something now, is this something that has been, I mean, did it just come to you here recently, or had you been thinking about this for a while up to the race?
I've been thinking about it for a little while. I used to be the trustee up here in Union Township, up here in Eaton. And then I'm on the board for the trustee now. And, the goal of all that is helping people. And I just don't see our government now that's at the county doing what's best for the people. I mean, they just raised $55 property taxes starting in 2 years. I don't see how that's going to help anybody. That's not going to help out homeless people, drug addiction. I will tell you this, and if I win this race, I pledge to you, and I promise to everyone that I will not raise taxes in the whole 4 years that I know you get 2 out of the 3 votes, but I promise you will never get a vote for yes for raising taxes.
Okay. And, one of those things that you have been talking about is here just in the first few minutes of the show is the need for help and assistance with drug treatment. And you don't think that you're seeing enough with that in the county. And I feel like a lot of people on both sides, both Republicans and Democrats, would probably agree with that statement.
Yes, I just think it's a whole disaster. The mayor turned around giving away an $800,000 building for $1 that we were supposed to be using it for addiction problems.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest waste of money in my life, a slap in the face to the citizens. And there's nothing that the county's doing right now either. So,
well,
that's just a slap in the face.
That's what I was just getting ready to ask. So obviously, you being the superintendent of maintenance, you would be somebody that would be in the know about the building that's been constructed and built out there on the site of the Justice Center. It was to be built so that it could be a
mental health
30-day mental health drug rehab facility for they said it was basically for everybody, but everything I've ever heard, they said it was basically going to be related to the jail. People coming into the jail would be then over there, and they would have doctors, and they would have counselors and nurses, but they were also talking about corrections officers and people, because there would be people over there that would still be in custody, so to say. But that building, to my knowledge, is not open, correct?
No, it's not open, but it's been leased to another company. I don't know about the part. I just know it's supposed to be like a mental health, drug addiction type thing, but it was leased out to another company, and they're in the process of getting it to where they want it before they move in. And I think it's opening dates, I think, in July.
Okay. All right. So we are moving closer to having an opening date.
Yes.
So, what do you say to people? Listen, I'm a conservative, I right-leaning libertarian. I'm not crazy about raising taxes and don't want to see that happen. What do you say to the people who say, well, how do you plan on helping these people and bringing this stuff forward and making this happening, with Delaware County and all local government in the issue that we are currently in with Senate Bill 1 and the kind of the dire straits that everybody keeps acting like we're in. At some point, something's going to have to happen in order for us to be able to do something. What say you about that?
I understand that, and everyone says, well, how are you going to do this without taxes? Well, there's got to be other ways around it. And I'm one of them type of people. I have family or relations in the Democrat Party. I get along with everybody in the Democrat Party. So first things first, we need to work together to find the solution for all of Delaware County. And maybe we could pick a few brains and just put some brain cells together and figure it out. I'm not beyond helping anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm all about working together. We can't find a solution if we don't work together.
Sure, absolutely. And so, I think that's something that we don't hear enough about. People from both sides. We've not really been in a position where we've had people from both sides. Most of the government in Delaware County and the city of Muncie is, for the most part, made up of Republicans, and so it's kind of one of those things where we haven't had to work with both sides, but you still have people in the community that are different parties. And, I think we need to start looking outside of the party so much, because I think that's what's hurt a lot of our local government is the too much reliance on the same old people. We have a lot of different boards and a lot of different committees, and the same people are being put on these boards and duplicate boards. And I think we're starting to get to a point where we're really harming ourselves because we're not trying to widen the bench, so to speak, or to let people in. They want to keep it so that it's so like locked down. They don't want to let others in, and that's a problem.
That's the problem I don't like either. And I hate to say this, and I don't even know if I'm even saying it right or not, but I think there's too many hands in the kitty. You know what I'm saying? And I think we need to find some way to reduce down some of these boards. And we to me, I'm sorry, I know this is probably wrong of me saying this, but it should not be one party that runs everything. We need to work together to make things work for everybody in Delaware County.
Yeah. And so we've had a question here. A viewers ask, as far as your funding and who's been funding your campaign, it's like, is it a grassroots effort? Are you funding it yourself? Are you getting campaign endorsements or contributions from the party or from other folks within the party?
Well, considering the Republican Party here local, I'm like the turd in a punch bowl. So, and I don't really care. I mean, I'm not a follower. I'm a leader.
Okay.
And there's too many followers over there, and I don't play that game. But as far as my funding goes, it's me and my wife have done this by ourselves. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie to anybody. Anybody ask me questions. It's I'll be honest with you, I got $500 and everything right now of signs and shirts. I'm doing this all myself. I'm not rich. I'm just like everybody else, a hardworking person, just wanting to try to make a change instead of expecting all these people to back me. I want to do this myself.
Right. So, I don't know if you've listened to any of the other interviews, but questions that the viewers have asked pretty much every candidate that I've talked to, depending on doesn't matter Republican or Democrat or what office they are seeking. Everybody's been really worried and concerned about the kind of the new technology with drones and with flock cameras and whatnot. And I know that the Delaware County commissioners have just entered into an agreement with the city of Muncie for a drone base on top of the county building, and we're now doing more work with flock cameras. If you are elected as a commissioner, well, before we get there, number one, what's your thought on the use of these flock cameras and drones for like the police activity? What's your thought on that?
Well, okay, since I'm the maintenance superintendent of Delaware County, I have been dealing with the Muncie Police Department in the talks with this to happen. That was my main part of this, and it's still ongoing on a meeting basis. I'm all about your privacy. I'm number one on my privacy.
Sure.
I can't stand somebody to nib nose on stuff. But from what I understand from them, this big drone they're going to put on top of the building is supposed, I mean, I see their side of it. It's to protect the police officers too. Now you're not going to have to stick somebody's head in a door where you can fly a drone in the door and get shot instead of a human being. I understand that part, but from what I understand, it's not supposed to. This is not going to be out tracking people or overlooking on people and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but they assured me that that's not what this is for. So, and now, like say for toll roads, there's flock cameras out there now. If you bypass a toll road, they take a picture of your vehicle with your license plate. So anywhere and everywhere you go, you've got this problem. I'm neutral in the situation. I think I like it for the fact that it's going to help police officers and maybe help find children that are lost. That I mean, they could be the faster there anywhere else besides a police vehicle. And I'm going to be neutral on this. I'm for it, but I'm still kind of against it too.
I think that, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people that are kind of like in that middle of the road type of ground with this. I mean, the number one thing, as with anything in policing, there are tools, and those tools can be used for good. And if you abuse those tools, they can be used for bad. And it's the policing of what the police are doing with that really matters, and being able to do the right thing. Because maybe the people that we currently have maybe they're going to do everything right and not violate anybody's rights. But who's to say that people 10 years down the road aren't going to, when these people are gone, aren't going to use these same tools to do something nefarious. I think it just needs to be watched, and we need to have a lot of protections in place. If we're going to start going down this road, we need to start having a lot of protections in place. And I'm really speaking mostly on the drones. The flock cameras, I tend to have a little bit more issue with. And I think that's kind of getting out of control, what's happening with the flock cameras.
Well, and I just seen a thing too, that they're mounting these flock cameras on telephone poles. And I don't know if they got special permission, but when I used to work at the cable company, you cannot be on that pole. Nothing is allowed to be mounted on that pole unless you pay a monthly fee to be on that pole. And they've got stuff mounted on the poles, and it's not supposed to be unless they went and got special permission.
That's definitely interesting. I've been seeing people posting that. I'm not sure if what the truth is there or not. I have to look into that. But I mean, if they're supposed to be going through certain protocol and procedures to make sure that that's okay, and they're not doing that, that's problem number one.
Yeah.
But we just need to find out what's going on there or not. So that's an issue.
Yeah. But like I say, I've met with Chief Sloan, super nice guy, straight up guy. I don't I can't see him doing any of that stuff. And several of the guys that's going to be in charge of this, I work hand in hand with them, and I mean, they're all upstanding people. I trust them. But then again, though, there's what happens when those people leave and other things happen.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So, okay, moving on from there. One of the things I think that really blows my mind is we are hearing, it almost seems like every commissioners meeting, we are hearing the commissioners either voting on spending money for something related to the new Justice Center out at the old Wilson building.
Yeah.
Or they're if they're not voting on spending money, they're discussing the possible future vote on spending money on some kind of repair or some kind of new technology. I mean, hell, that building's only been open for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. About 6 now.
Okay, since 2021, 2022, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have a real issue that the building seems to be in such a bad way as it is this early into the county being in there. And I just have a major issue with that. And you kind of have an inside look at that. What say you about that? And how would that be able to help you if you are elected to maybe make decisions so that we don't have to spend so much money? Or, I mean, are these expenditures needed? Is the building just falling apart? What's actually happening out there?
Well, the main major issue we have right now, it's the flat roof leaking. It's in different places. It wasn't done correctly to start with. It should have had a rubber roof put on it, and that's not the situation. Now we're into a situation where we just keep going up there and putting tar up there and stopping leaks, and that only lasts so long. So now we're to the point we have to replace the whole entire flat roof. And right now I'm looking at it'll probably be, I don't have exact cost, but I'm thinking right around probably a little over $1 million.
Jesus.
Yeah, and personally, in my own opinion, and I know I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but that jail is the worst freaking jail. I'd have never picked that spot for a jail. Neither would I. I would have. So anybody that's been involved in Delaware County government, City of Muncie government for any length of time at all knows that the jail, for whatever reason, it seems like jails are always a major quagmire for like every county government. It doesn't matter where you're talking, jails are always an issue. And there's just always so much liability there with overcrowding and the conditions that are in there. It's always such an issue, and it always causes problems for the county governments. And so that's just interesting that it's like that across the board. It's not just Delaware County, but the jail that was constructed and that was at 100 West Washington Street, it was a problem from day one. It was always a problem. Yeah. This
jail in the Justice Center out at the Wilson building out on Tillotson has been a problem since day one.
Yes.
And I don't specifically know, and I'll be honest, I don't know what the answer would have been, but I would not have taken the jail out of downtown Muncie. I would have done something to fight to keep it in downtown Muncie.
I honestly, I agree 100%. I wasn't never in that jail, but the people that work there that I know, that I work with now, they said that building is much better than this jail we got now. So
that's interesting.
And that's bad.
Yeah. That is very interesting. What I said at the time because the problem was the overcrowding of the jail, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
my solution for the jail was to take the courts. Imagine if we would have stayed downtown at 100 West Washington Street.
Yep.
You take the courts out of that building. You take the public defender's office out of that building, and you take the sheriff's department out of that building. The investigations and the dispatch used to be down there, but they moved it out. So you take everything out of that, because as the jail was just on the top floor, the second and third floor there. The first floor in the basement were other offices and other things. I said, if you would have taken everything off the main floor, all the courts and the sheriff's department, and in the basement, you'd have taken out the sheriff's department, the squad room, the property room, and the old 911 areas in there, and you would have made the basement jail, the first floor jail, and the second floor jail, you would have more than doubled the space, and you would have offered more room. And then the county could have looked for another building for the sheriff's department, the courts, and the offices. And I think that would have been a way to maybe deal with that problem. That's something I've said since way back, way back before this thing was even a big push, that's the way that I would take care of the jail overcrowding. But I certainly wouldn't have done what they did. And I think that that's going to be a problem for Delaware County for years to come. When we fix the roof, then we're going to have other issues. Now I'm hearing that they are talking about needing to completely revamp the security system in there, the intercoms and the video system. Have you heard about that?
Yes, I'm part of that too.
Yeah, that's
it's a what do you call it? Proprietary system. You can't use any other parts, and the boards that are in them now are completely out of date in 2028, and there is no remakes for these new card readers. And it's the doors go down, and we have to deal with a company called Accurate from all the way in Wisconsin, and they charge us anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500 to come down here. And this is what ticks me off now. Is I had one of my maintenance guys meet up with them on Veterans Day last year.
Okay.
They diagnosed the problem, but they wouldn't fix it. They had one of my maintenance guys get his ladder and told him how to fix it. That is not what we should not be paying for that.
Yeah.
And we got doors that now it works now, but that was the most piss poor system that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we have to deal with, I'll be honest with you, Chris, I work here. We have to do something about the security system.
Sure.
It's not working correctly. It should have been dealt with in the build. I wasn't here for that, but I would have used the same people we had for the old jail, and that's who we're talking to now.
Sure. Okay. Let me ask you a question, and I've wondered this for a while. I was actually going to message you this a while back and ask, but I never got around to it. If you win the election, will you be giving up your position currently, or how's that going to work?
I have to, and this is the thing. I
thought so.
My wife calls me as the craziest person in the world for doing this. But, my salary is known to everybody. It's public.
Sure.
I'm right around I think $63,000 a year.
Okay.
I'll be going down to $30,000 a year. And I know it sounds stupid, but let me tell you the reason why. And and if you think I'm still stupid, I'm stupid, whatever. But I'm willing to take that cut so I can help the people of Delaware County. I think I could help. I can't do that other job and keep this job here, but I will tell you, as a commissioner, I will still be helping maintenance. Sure. I will still be going out fixing things. If people need me to come to their property to look at stuff, I'm going there. But no, I am taking a big pay cut, and I think it's only right for me to do it because I feel like I need to do this. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not involved in the political party. I'm the turd in the punch bowl. So, you know what? I don't care about what they want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. And my goal is to work with the whole entire Democrat Party. And if the Republicans, if they want to be involved in it, they can. But we need to get our minds together, work together for the people of Delaware County. And, you know, I don't see that happening now. And I know I can do that now. Because I know I've got too many friends involved in the Delaware County Republican Party or the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
But I am my own person. I'm running my own show, and I'm sorry I'm probably going to create fireworks. But you know what? There ain't nothing going to be I'm going to be 100% transparent. I'll tell anybody wants to come into my office. I got an open door for them anytime.
Sure.
You know, I just don't think there's enough being done for the Delaware County people. And it's like now, the candidate I'm running against now is, he's wanting to bring in another Google network system in when everybody's using Microsoft. And Microsoft, you can't use Google in the prosecutor's the clerk's office or anything. He's wanting to bring this in and plus also have Microsoft. So that's another. So right now we're paying about $50,000. Right now we're paying about $50,000 for Microsoft, and if we bring Google in, that by the time they pay people to train people on this, an extra $50,000 on top of another $50,000, you're gonna pay $100,000 a year. That's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Because you'll have to. You'd have to have duplicate services because you can't use Google for the court software and prosecutors. That's really big, Don.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that at all. I mean, I'm not about what's working for us now is working for us now. Don't change it. Now you're wanting to bring Google in, and then you're going to turn around another extra $50,000. That's $10,000 extra. To me, that is pure stupidity.
Yeah.
Pay the $50,000 from Microsoft, which everybody knows that system now. And why do we have to separate it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's another big issue that I have a problem with. It's just people. I'm sorry. People don't think before they do.
Yeah.
So they just want to do it.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, before we wind things down here, I'll let you get back to your evening. Just when you're walking out and you're talking to people and you're doing your thing campaigning, what's the one or two biggest issues that you're hearing people that they're coming to you and talking to you about? What's the biggest thing that you're hearing as you're
campaigning? The biggest thing is property taxes.
Sure.
And I mean, that's number one. Number two is basically, why are we getting rid of all these mental health places? I'm not the one doing that. I can't understand for the life of me why anybody would want to. Well, boys, I'm sorry. Dan Cannon's probably the worst mayor I've ever seen in my life.
Right now, not Cannon.
Right now, whatever his name is. But he wasteful spending of the city, I just don't understand how people deal with that.
Yeah. The city and the county should be working on this more together. I was blown away when the mayor that's something that was first promised to the citizens back when they first started the push for the Justice Center and moving it out to Wilson, to the I always say old Wilson, but it's the old new Wilson, because it's not the old Wilson, but you know what I'm talking about, out on Tillerson. When they were telling everybody that, okay, if we take that out there, the citizens were pushing for a mental health or rehab facility, and they kept saying, oh yeah, we'll do it. Well, then they started moving the inmates in and doing all of that stuff, and they never brought that up. And then they said, yeah, we'll get it. Well, then everything just died. Well, then the mayor announces that he's going to do a crisis center without ever talking to the county. He never talked to any of his counterparts at the county. And then a couple months after he announces that, the county announces they're going to do this 30-day facility thing, and they never talk to the city about it. So we have the county and the city using the same monies in the different pools doing similar stuff, and that's just very counterproductive to me. I think the city and the county needs to work together. If they pooled the money together and they helped, I think that would just benefit the citizens. And I don't understand why it's so hard to work together on these things that would be beneficial for the majority of the people in Muncie and Delaware County.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking with us. I'm sorry that we had the issue with the connectivity issue at the beginning, but I'm glad we were able to work it out. And
yes,
before we go, just your one last message to let the people know why they should vote for you on or before Tuesday, May 5th.
Yeah. Well, everyone, I just want everybody to know I only have one agenda. Why would I quit a job that $63,000 a year dropped down to $30,000 a year? I mean, I know that sounds idiotic, but the only reason I'm doing it is because I feel like I can make a difference and have a voice for the people. We don't have anybody that does that now.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm transparent. You can talk to me anytime. Matter of fact, like Dave Williams did, I will give you my number on here now. It's 765-749-9461. That is my personal cell phone number. You have any questions about anything, all you have to do is call and call me. I will pick up the phone. If I don't, I will call you back.
Okay. Can you give us that number one more time?
Yes. Area code 765.
Yep.
749.
Okay.
9461.
Okay, good. My producer, Kate, was marking that down.
Yeah.
So she's put that up there on the screen there then for people to connect with you. You're also on Facebook. If people want to connect, you have a Facebook account. It's just Don Chambers is your personal Facebook account.
Yeah, just my regular Facebook. I never made it. I'm not a geek on all these computers.
Right.
I don't know. You do. You know your stuff. I don't.
I barely. I just know what I know to do what I got to do. That's the reason I have such hard time getting people. It takes me a little bit longer than some places because I just know what I barely need to know to get it done. But I definitely hear you. I definitely understand where you're at there.
But yeah, it's just my normal Facebook page, and it's got my sign on it, veteran Don Chambers for commissioner. So,
yeah.
Like I said, even if you want to contact me through there, I'd be happy to. So
absolutely. And what branch of the military were you in?
I was in the Army.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your service, and I appreciate you coming on and talking with us, and we will see what happens. Obviously, like everyone else, we wish you luck, and if you make it through on Tuesday, we will have you come back in the fall, and we'll talk to you then.
Sounds good, guys. I appreciate everybody listening, and Chris, I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, sir, very much. Yep. You have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, have a good night.
All right, you too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Don Chambers, one of the two Republican candidates running for your District 3 Delaware County Commissioner's Office. If you give me one moment here, I will get disconnected, and discombobulated there. We're paused, but I'm just still talking here. So there we go. We're back up, ready to rock and roll. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, we're going to get ready to move into our next topic here. And it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see what this looks like. This is going to be the arrest and formal charges filed against Teddy M. Johnson in connection with the death of Delaware County Sheriff's Corporal Blake Reynolds. That's what we're going to talk about. But before we get there, we are going to take just a real quick break. So you just stand by and we'll be right back with you. All right. I knew that wouldn't take long. What's happening? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Hey, there's always something to be said for a guest who lets you look completely upside their nostrils, inside, outside their nostrils when they're talking to you. Some of our greatest guests, our most memorable guests, most bizarre guests, have had issues with their framing of their cameras. But I appreciate Don coming on and talking with us, and I'm glad that we were able to get that done. I gotta say, I cannot tell you how happy I am, honest to God, that we are absolutely about done talking to these candidates. Give me 1 second here. We'll see. Well, we've got a couple more. We'll be right in line tomorrow with another. It's lots of fun. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to move on. We're going to talk about this situation with this horrible situation with Blake Reynolds, the Delaware County Sheriff's Department Corporal, who was assisting a motorist, got called out, was I think either just called on or was getting ready to call off from duty, and was quickly just going to jump a call and take a call for service. It wasn't like going out and wrestling down and chasing down murderers or bank robbers. Was going to go out and assist a motorist. Was on the side of the road, red and blues flashing on the side of 69. Very, very dangerous place for troopers and for county and small town cops that are up and down 69 and other highways. And was just on the side of the road. And unfortunately for him, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time and was struck and killed by a semi-tractor trailer. It was something that was just absolutely a nightmare because, this guy, by all accounts, was a decent human being, decent deputy, was, a decent partner to his wife, had just recently got married. It's the first line of duty death that Delaware County or Muncie's had in some time. And so just a tragic situation. So in the aftermath of everything that happened, there were a lot of questions, about what happened, why it happened, what was going on, who was at fault, was someone, was something at fault, was, what was going on there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that were being said, and a lot of questions, and there was just a lot of unknowns. And basically, December, January, February, March, April, May, 5 months coming up on 6 months ago. It's taken all this time, and people have been wondering, like, yeah, what's going on here? Why are we not hearing about what's happened? You know what I mean? Like, what is going on here? And so finally today, the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office did announce that the driver of the vehicle had been arrested on a warrant, and that he had been formally charged, that he was booked into the Delaware County Jail, and he will remain there without bond until further order from the Circuit Court 5 judge, Tom Cannon Jr. I want to play this clip from the media from the time of the accident, just to kind of as a refresher for everyone. And then we'll get into the news from today. So without further delay, we'll pull this up here and let you guys hear this.
All right, and this afternoon, tributes are pouring in for a Delaware County Sheriff's deputy killed in the line of duty.
Police say Corporal Blake Reynolds was killed after a semi lost control and struck his patrol car. Reynolds was stopped on I-69 to help a stranded driver. Our Ashton Hackman is live again today in Muncie as that memorial there grows. Ashton, what have you seen?
Well, Dustin and Felicia, this memorial behind me here for Corporal Blake Reynolds, it has grown in the 24 hours since that tragedy on Interstate 69 yesterday morning. Now, this is the way that the community is coming here to honor that fallen deputy. But you have to think the law enforcement community, it is big in size, and they now have to support each other. So out back behind the Community Justice Building, there is a new active response kit. It's deployed by Indy FOP, and it's the first time we have seen it used. It's meant for situations just like this, when deputies and other law enforcement need the support while they support the community. They have been out here since yesterday, just hours after that crash. As first responders were rushing to that scene, they rushed here to Delaware County. They are embracing each other, supporting those deputies who had to return to work after the tragedy.
They're back to work today. They still have to get out there. They have a job to do, and they all know that. They raised their hand to swear an oath, and they're back out there serving and protecting the community.
Corporal Reynolds served with the Delaware County Sheriff's Office for 4 years. We told you yesterday funeral arrangements are still being prepared. We expect to learn that potentially in the next coming days, next week. In the meantime, Dustin and Felicia, the police investigation into this crash by Indiana State Police, it continues. And today I was told by ISP that the driver of the semi they believe responsible remains in the hospital in critical condition. The other semi driver that was also involved in that crash, they did not get any injuries from that accident. Dustin and Felicia.
All right, and that's Ashton Hackman reporting in Muncie as a community reacts and responds to this unfortunate tragedy.
Yeah, and it is it's touching to see the personal mementos and notes that people are leaving at that car.
Thank you.
All right, so that was that. Happened back in, like I said, happened back in November. And yeah, no, Stumblefoot, you said, am I wrong? Yeah, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think if Kate stepped away here for a second. Let me pull this back up here so people can see. Stumblefoot says, Stumblefoot says, in hindsight, if a cop was speeding down the road without lights or sirens blaring and hit a pedestrian, he would be on, I don't know if you mean desk duty or I don't know, stupid duty. He'd be on unpaid leave for 30 days. I don't really know what you're saying there. If it was found, so here's the thing. As I said at the time, there are situations which are just horrible accidents. And if this was a situation where the driver of this semi was completely in control, he wasn't, under the influence of anything, he wasn't speeding, he wasn't doing something wrong for the condition, and this was just a horrible, god-awful accident, I would not have been in favor of criminal charges. We're probably one of the only countries in the world that really don't charge people or corporations for accidents. I mean, if you think about things and you look around, specifically like in Asian countries, but in Europe and in a lot of different places in Europe and in a lot of places elsewhere in the world, when there are just unfortunate accidents, a lot of time there are criminal prosecutions, and you will see, hell, not only the driver going to jail or doing prison time for extended periods of time, but you'll see like the CEO of the company being charged and being held liable and found liable and things like that. Now, monetarily, I'm fine with things like that, and people taking care of people's families after that or being made to. I'm fine with that. But I've just always found that fascinating and weird that, you could have a legitimate accident, and there are legitimate accidents. Okay. That's the reason they're called accidents and not called like on purposes and things like that. My dad used to say that to me. It used to piss me off all the time. He would say oh my God, that used to make me mad. Well, it's an accident, and that's why it's called an accident. If it wasn't an accident, it would be called an on purpose. And that used to make me so mad when he would say that. Anyways, that's funny. But I think that's not what was going on here. If there were a police officer, and a police officer, and now listen, yes, of course, Stumblefoot, there's always going to be, we could probably dig up and find examples of another semi driver that was doing something stupid and it was a little bit more than an accident, but they got off. I mean, you're always going to be able to find examples of some cop getting off or some person doing this or something not going that way. But I'm saying for the most part, if you have an officer that is not using due regard and they hit a person, they're going to get in trouble for it. And you're saying, are you talking about, let me ask you specifically, are you talking about the officer that was driving really fast with no lights and sirens on, and the pedestrian was crossing the road? It was a woman, and he hits and kills her, and it was like in the city area. Is that the case you're talking about, where he hit and killed her and they tried to cover it up? Is that what you're talking about? Because if that's what you are talking about, that cop did get in trouble. He didn't just immediately go back to duty. He got in trouble. He got fired. He got prosecuted. So if that's what you're talking about, he did end up getting consequences of that action. And that was a god-awful situation. And the worst part about that, see, that's the other thing, is you got to look at what's going on. If something happens and it's an accident, or even if it's you're doing something stupid and it's like, man, you shouldn't have been doing that. As a result of what you're doing, this happened. Stopping it and stopping that and saying, oh my God, and trying to take accountability is one thing. But in that situation, they like specifically tried to cover it up. And I think that's a really, really, really big issue when you're trying to cover something up like that. Now, the other thing, when you're saying slapped on the wrist, look, this guy's not being charged with murder. He's not being charged with level 1, level 2, level 3 felonies. All of these charges that he's facing are level 5, level 6 felonies, misdemeanor charges. And what's going to happen is a couple of those are going to be pled down. He's going to plead to this. And this is not going to end his life. Like, he's not going to be thrown in prison for the rest of forever. And I don't think that he should be. Now, I have not read any of the paperwork. We're getting ready to look over the paperwork together. This is actually the first time I'm looking through any of this paperwork because I've been busy today. But we're going to look through this paperwork here now together, and we'll see what we have here. Let me pull this up and put it on the screen here, and we will look through this this paperwork here. Share. Okay, hide, and let me bump this up, and let me share here. No, he won't get that long. I bet you $5. I bet you $5 he won't get. He'll get 5 or under. He'll get 5 or under. I'll be very, very shocked. Well, let's read these paperwork. Now, wait a minute. Before we got to see what's going on, because making a living is one thing, but if you're making a living and doing things illegal while you're doing the making a living, it's a little bit different thing. You know, if you're making a living and doing heroin while you're doing it, that's, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's what he was doing. I'm being facetious here. Let's take a look at what this guy did before we were like, oh shucks, this guy was just out making a living and look what they did to him. Okay. So here's the rundown. Okay. Because we can say the same thing about the deputy. The deputy was just out making a living. I mean, he wasn't kicking anybody's teeth in and violating anybody's rights. He was just helping somebody on the side of the road. You know what I mean? So that cuts both ways. Office of the Prosecuting Attorney for immediate release. Eric Hoffman, Prosecuting Attorney. Arrest made. Charges filed relating to the death of Delaware County Sheriff's Deputy Blake Reynolds, Muncie, Indiana. The Indiana State Police has concluded its investigation into the events and circumstances surrounding the November 12th, 2025 death of Delaware County Sheriff's Deputy Corporal Blake A. Reynolds. This investigation is exceptionally thorough. On April 27th, 2026, based upon the facts gathered in the investigation, Prosecuting Attorney Eric M. Hoffman formally charged Teddy M. Johnson, date of birth October 30th, 1986. So this guy's, 4, 5, 6 years younger than me, so, that's kind of crazy. With the following criminal offenses: reckless homicide, level 5 felony, involuntary manslaughter. So like he wasn't planning on it, level 5 felony, failure to change lanes for an authorized emergency vehicle, a level 6 felony, and a reckless operation of a tractor trailer combination, class B misdemeanor. So here's this. Prosecutor Hoffman formally filed these charges and applied for an arrest warrant, which was issued and approved by the Honorable Thomas A. Cannon, Jr., Judge of Delaware County Circuit Court 5 on April 27th, 2026. Troopers with the Indiana State Police executed a sealed search warrant on Johnson, took him into custody, and booked him into the Delaware County Jail. Pursuant to Indiana law, Judge Cannon has ordered Johnson be held without bail pending further order of the court. It is important to remember that any accusation that someone has committed a crime, an arrest, and or the filing of criminal charges is simply an allegation and is not evidence of guilt. All suspects are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt at trial. The charges are pending in the Delaware County Circuit Court 5. The Honorable Judge Thomas A. Cannon, Jr. has set the case for an initial hearing on April 27th. Copies of the charging information, affidavit for probable cause for arrest, and order adjudicating probable cause on file with the court are attached. Okay, and then pursuant to Indiana law, a level 5 felony is punishable by 1 to 6 years and up to $10,000 fine. A level 6 felony is punishable by 6 months to 2.5 years. And a Class B misdemeanor is punishable by up to 180 days in jail. Ethical rules for prosecutors in Indiana prohibit further comment on this matter. At this time, there will be no further comment. So I'm telling you right there by this right here, 1 to 6, 6 to 2.5, and all of that will run together. Yeah, maybe 5 years. Maybe 5 years with a bunch suspended or something. I don't know that this guy goes to prison. Yeah, he might be in jail. He'll do time served, something like that. Okay, moving on here. Affidavit of probable cause for arrest. The undersigned deposes and says upon information and belief that Teddy M. Johnson has committed the offense of count 1, reckless homicide, a level 5 felony, count 2, no reason to read all that again, and support therefore as follows. The affiant is a law enforcement officer, has been for over 32 years. The affiant is currently a lieutenant with the Indiana State Police Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Unit. The affiant has been assigned to the Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Unit for approximately 20 years. The affiant has extensive training and experience in the area of crash reconstruction. This includes reconstruction of crashes involving commercial vehicles, such as semi-tractor trailers. The affiant has participated in approximately 500 crash reconstructions. Among those, the affiant has personally conducted the reconstruction in over 300 crashes. The Indiana State Police has conducted a thorough investigation into the November 12, 2025 death of Corporal Blake A. Reynolds, hereafter referred to as Corporal Reynolds of the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. The affiant has participated in this investigation and has been informed of the information by other investigating officers. In the early morning hours of November 12, 2025, Corporal Reynolds was on routine patrol at approximately 3:09 a.m. The Delaware County 911 Center began receiving calls about a semi-truck and trailer that had allegedly crashed on I-69 near the 247-mile marker in Delaware County, Indiana. The vehicle was allegedly blocking at least one of the northbound lanes of I-69. Corporal Reynolds responded to this call and arrived on scene at approximately 3:20 a.m. Reynolds was wearing his full sheriff's uniform and was operating a white Dodge 2025 Durango that was fully marked as a sheriff's deputy police vehicle, including bright red and blue flashing lights. Reynolds parked his police vehicle in the right northbound lane of I-69, approximately 200 feet to the south of where the semi-truck and trailer was blocking the road. Upon arrival, Corporal Reynolds activated his bright red and blue emergency lights, exited his patrol vehicle, and proceeded to walk up to the vehicle. For reference, see the diagram below. V2 indicates the approximate position of the truck and tractor semi-trailer. V3 indicates the approximate position of Reynolds' patrol vehicle at the time that he parked and exited the vehicle. Okay, so let's take a look at where we're at. So Looks like the truck is off the roadway and over the shoulder and then halfway into the slow lane. And Reynolds was, man, a pretty far distance back. That's pretty wild. At all relevant times, Reynolds was equipped and wearing a department-issued body-worn camera. Upon arrival on scene, Reynolds activated his body-worn camera. The vehicle blocking the I-69 was a truck-tractor semi-trailer combination. The truck-tractor was a white 2016 Volvo tractor with a day cab and was pulling an orange and white 2006 Great Dane semi-trailer, which was driven by Gregory Holmes, hereafter referred to as Holmes. The truck, tractor, and semi-trailer were still connected with the tractor down into the ditch to the right and the trailer partially up on the roadway. The rear of the trailer was completely blocking the right northbound lane. However, the left northbound lane was not blocked, and there was a northbound traffic flowing slowly in the left lane. Reynolds made contact with two adult males that were placing warning triangles on the right edge of the northbound roadway. The two individuals that Reynolds encountered in the scene were identified as Greg Holmes, who had an Indiana CDL license, the driver of the commercial vehicle driven off the road, and William Sanchez, the individual who had stopped his vehicle just to the north of Vehicle 2 to assist the driver of Vehicle 2. Reynolds began to walk around Vehicle 2 and took photographs of Vehicle 2 with his cellular phone. This area of I-69 is approximately 2.8 miles north of exit 245 at the 28 exit in Delaware County. At the scene of this crash, I-69 has two lanes going north and two lanes going south. The north and southbound lanes are divided by a natural grass median. There's a wide emergency lane on the right and narrow shoulder of the median side. The right edge of the road has a solid white line defining the right edge, and the right travel lane is dashed white line dividing the right from the left lane, and a yellow line dividing the left edge of the lane. Just to the right of the solid white line and in the shoulder lane, there are lane departure warnings, rumble grooves in the asphalt that are 18 inches wide. These rumble grooves warn motorists of lane departures by creating a vibration and rumble sound when driven across. This is a very rural area, and the terrain is mostly flat. Along the far east edge of the interstate, far right away, was a woven wire fence. Just to the east of this fence is County Road 900 West, a two-lane blacktop county road. There are no businesses and almost no residences near the section of the interstate that would create any ambient lighting. There is a small church near the interstate, but it offers very little ambient lighting. The weather conditions at the time in question were above freezing, and there had not been any precipitation in this area in the previous 36 hours. There had been snow in the area a few days prior, and there was still some snow accumulated in the grassy areas next to the interstate. However, the road surface was dry and free from any snow or ice. There was very little traffic on the interstate. As Reynolds was taking photographs and investigating how Vehicle 2 came to be off the side of the road, Teddy M. Johnson, herein referred to as Johnson, was driving a semi-tractor trailer in the northbound right side lane of I-69. Johnson holds an Indiana Class A commercial driver's license. Johnson was driving a white 2023 Mack truck trailer pulling a white 2024 Great Dane semi trailer. Johnson was employed as a driver for Parish Dedicated Services, Inc. Reynolds' police vehicle was equipped with rear-facing red and blue emergency lights, among other red and blue emergency lights. By the time Johnson approached the 247-mile marker on I-69, Reynolds had parked his fully marked police car with bright and red blue lights flashing. As Johnson approached Reynolds' emergency vehicle, Johnson was traveling at approximately 61 miles per hour. So he's not crazy speeding. He's going over the 55 mile an hour speed, or I think it's 60. I think it might be 60. I think it's 55 for trucks. So, but it's not. He's not speeding. I mean, he's okay speed. Johnson's semi-truck was equipped with a sophisticated dash camera that simultaneously recorded video footage of the roadway, as Johnson would have seen it, as well as Johnson in the driver's seat of the truck. Interior footage clearly depicts Johnson as he was driving. The footage depicting the exterior camera shows that Corporal Reynolds' emergency red and blue lights were clearly visible to Johnson as he was traveling north, approaching Reynolds' vehicle. The lights were bright against the stark contrast of the black night. See still photos below from the truck's dash cam. Okay, so there's pictures from 65 for trucks. Okay, that's interesting. Hoffman is going to make an example out of this guy. Nope, I don't disagree with that. And listen, the biggest example he can make would be 6 years. But and then what we would be talking about is we would be talking about half of that time. So I mean, it's not like I don't know what kind of, if we give this guy possibly the worst sentence that he could possibly get, we're going to be talking about him doing 3 years in lockup. I just don't see that. But I don't see that happening. I'll bet you money. I'll bet you a $5. I'll bet you a $5. I'm telling you 100%. We all know flashing lights makes it hard to see. It's not hard to see. It lets you know it's there. Slow down and get over. What are we talking about here? All right, here we go. Keep on going. Despite Reynolds' emergency vehicle red and blue lights, Johnson failed to yield by means of moving over to the adjacent lane to the left as required by law. The left lane was free from obstruction. Other vehicles, including commercial vehicles that had already passed Reynolds' vehicle and the road hazards prior to Johnson's travel. There was no traffic prohibiting Johnson from moving over into the left lane as Johnson approached Reynolds' police vehicle. Johnson approached the scene while in the right lane with no reaction, response, or recognition that there was a police vehicle with lights flashing directly in front of his path. Approximately 1 second or less before the crash, Johnson, at approximately 61 miles an hour, abruptly and unsuccessfully steered to the left, but within an instant, the front right of Johnson's truck struck the left rear of Reynolds' police vehicle. See the diagram below. Vehicle 1 represents Johnson's truck. Vehicle 3 represents the police vehicle. Okay, so basically, here we see the truck on the passenger side striking the driver's side rear of the police vehicle. The act of Johnson's truck crashing into Reynolds' police vehicle pushed the police vehicle forward to the right and through the grassy area of the right side of the highway. The police vehicle did not stop until after it went down the ditch, through the highway fence, and partially onto County Road 900 West, as seen in the diagram below. Johnson's truck tractor sustained damage front right wheel. As a result, Johnson lost control of the vehicle as it arced onto the northbound left lane and back to the right. Johnson then struck the right rear of the trailer vehicle 2 that was blocking the right northbound lane as depicted in the diagram below. So then it shows the police vehicle off into the grass and him striking the other semi. Okay. Corporal Reynolds had just completed taking photographs of Vehicle 2, which was blocking the right northbound lane. Reynolds was on the north side of the tractor trailer, as indicated by the gold dot on the above diagram. Okay. So what that means here is when the truck smashed into this other truck, Reynolds was like right in the worst possible place possible. Like, man, if he would have just been on the other side of that truck, nothing would have happened. But he was in the absolute worst place he could have been. That's crazy. Okay. When he abruptly started to move towards the shoulder of the roadway, the distinct sound of skidding tires can be heard on Corporal Reynolds' body-worn camera. Video footage, the skidding vehicle's Johnson semi-truck cannot be seen on the video footage because Reynolds was on the north side of the trailer and the skidding vehicle was coming from the south headed north. The video depicts a spray of sparks in the darkness, and then Reynolds was pushed to the ground face up as Vehicle 2's trailer passed over the top of Reynolds. but not before he was dragged along its path. The collision caused both trucks and both trailers to go approximately 100 feet further to the north and further down into the ditch on the right. Reynolds was dragged approximately 73 feet to the north underneath trailer Vehicle 2. The diagram below depicts the final resting place of Vehicle 1, Vehicle 2, and the body of Reynolds. And so we have Vehicle 1, Vehicle 2, we have the debris field, and we have Corporal Reynolds' body. Several minutes prior to the crash, the dash camera facing inside the cab of Johnson's truck depicts Johnson wearing headphones and using what appears to be a cellular phone or similar handheld electronic device. Johnson placed the device on his right thigh as Johnson manipulated the touch screen of the electronic device. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem right here. Touching the phone in a truck. Can't do it. There are occasions depicted in the video where he held the device in his hand and tapped and scrolled on the screen. These actions took Johnson's attention away from the road in front of him and to whatever he was viewing on the screen of his handheld device. The glow of the screen of the device can be seen in the vehicle, in the video. The video footage from inside Johnson's truck depicts Johnson during the time frame leading up to the crash. For several minutes prior to the crash, it appears, based on the affiant's training experience, that Johnson was physically struggling to stay awake. The visual indicators of his fatigue and struggle to stay awake include touching his face and head multiple times, stretching his arms and shifting in his seat, long periods of having his eyes closed. He also caught himself falling asleep and shook his head back and forth as if he was trying to stay awake. It is also obvious from the video footage that his vehicle was weaving within the lane and on a number of occasions swerved out of its own lane of travel. Johnson was driving a commercial vehicle weighing over 26,000 pounds after having been awake and active for more than 21 hours. Woo! 21 hours, and showing obvious physical signs of fatigue prior to the crash. In the affiant's training and experience, coupled with the video footage from the dash, impaired Johnson to the level that he did not recognize or respond to the very bright emergency lights on Reynolds' emergency vehicles directly in his path. The forward-looking dash camera video clearly shows that there were no other vehicles or environment conditions that obstructed his line of sight, the vehicle for well over a mile. The bright flashing red and blue lights on Reynolds' patrol vehicle were captured on the video footage from the dash camera on Johnson's truck. Reynolds was taken by EMS to IU Health Ball Memorial Hospital. Despite all resuscitative measures, he was declared dead. Later in the day of November 12, 2025, Dr. Jolene Klaus, a board-certified forensic pathologist, performed an autopsy on the body of Reynolds. Klaus determined that the cause of Corporal Reynolds' death was blunt force injuries, including scalp and skull fractures, rib fractures, and an open book pelvis fracture, a massive transection or cut of the aorta, and internal bleeding. Johnson sustained non-fatal injuries as a result of the crash that he caused. Johnson was hospitalized for those injuries. Just prior to his release from the hospital, Johnson was interviewed by the affiant and ISP detective Ron Halbert. Johnson claimed to not remember much about this crash. Johnson was asked about his normal schedule and his routine driving experience. Johnson said that he had started his work week at noon or a little later on Sunday, November 9th, 2025, by driving his over-the-road trip to Pennsylvania. According to Johnson, this was an overnight trip and that he delivered his load and he returned home late on Monday, November 10th. Johnson said on Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, he took the Prairie Farms load from Fort Wayne, Indiana to Holland, Indiana per his usual route. Johnson said that he starts his workday usually around 4:30 p.m. Johnson indicated that during the afternoon prior to the arrival for work, he had responsibilities with transporting his young son from a babysitter to preschool. While asking Johnson questions about his driving experience, CDL training, he stated without being specifically asked that he knew that when approaching a vehicle stopped on the highway that a driver is required to move over to the next lane. Johnson was asked if he had ever caught himself falling asleep while driving, and he said he was not going to lie. I have before. As a part of this investigation, 2 cell phones belonging to Johnson were located at the crash scene and seized as evidence. Search warrant was obtained for these 2 cell phones and that authorized an examination of their content surrounding the days of this incident. The activity for data from Johnson's cell phone were analyzed to determine periods of time that would include either active use of the phone for calls, text, or messages sent or read, and actual clicking or scrolling. These activities would indicate the off-duty periods that would not allow opportunity for sleep. It would also establish a timeline for his hours since Johnson's last opportunity for sleep. Based upon forensic examination, Johnson's cell phone, it was determined that Johnson had clicked and scrolled social media applications on the cell phone multiple times during the same time period that he was driving. Specifically, the forensic examination of Johnson's cell phone corroborates the video footage of the interior of the truck and cab depicts Johnson using his cell phone. After reviewing all the evidence, this investigation, including but not limited to Johnson's statement to the police of forensic examination of the cell phones, Johnson's record of duty status, the affiant has determined the time of the crash. Johnson had been awake for over 21 hours since his last opportunity for restorative sleep. In addition to the criminal offenses listed in the caption of this affiant, Johnson committed multiple infractions on November 12th, prohibiting use of telecommunications device while operating a motor vehicle. Doing so constitute a Class C infraction, given the fact Johnson operated for a hire carrier and used a vehicle that is rated for more than 26,000 pounds. Johnson is subject to the federal motor carrier safety regulations codified in blah, 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 which have been adopted in Indiana, prohibits a driver from using a handheld mobile telephone. In violation of subsection constitutes an infraction. Impaired by fatigue, illness, or other causes making it unsafe to continue. A violation of subsection or section 392.3 constitutes an infraction. Wherefore, this affiant is requesting the court issue a warrant for the arrest of Teddy M. Johnson for the offense of count 1, a reckless homicide, a level 5 felony. Count 2, involuntary manslaughter, a level 5 felony. Count 3, a failure to change lanes for authorized emergency vehicle, and count 4, reckless operation of tractor trailer, a B misdemeanor. For purposes of the court determination and appropriate bail, the affiant would ask the court to consider the following. Johnson does not reside in Delaware County. To the affiant's knowledge, Johnson does not have any ties to Delaware County. The following represents violations of the law contained within Johnson's driving record. Speeding, suspension, failure to appear on speeding infraction, suspension, failure to appear on speeding infraction, speeding, suspension, unsane lane movement, speeding, suspension, failure to appear, suspension, failure to appear, suspension, failure to appear, speeding, no valid license for type of vehicle operated, obtained CDL license in Michigan. I don't know how after all that other bullshit. Obtained exceeds max speed limit established by 25-mile-an-hour zone. No valid license for type of vehicle. No valid license for type of vehicle. Obtained CDL in Indiana. I don't understand how that's possible. Unlawfully passing emergency public safety vehicle and failure to wear safety belt. On October 20th, 10 days before his birthday, Johnson was adjudicated guilty for the offense of unlawfully passing an emergency vehicle, public safety vehicle in Union County, North Carolina. Said statute provides that when an emergency vehicle, public safety vehicle is with its emergency lights parked on the side of the roadway, the driver approaching the emergency vehicle or public service vehicle must slow down and move into the lane that is not the lane nearest the parked vehicle. The affiant further requests that Johnson should post bail as a term, if he should post bail as a term of his conditional release. The affiant requests that Johnson immediately surrender his CDL bearing his name to the affiant or the court pending further order of the court. Further, the affiant requests that as a term and condition of bail, the defendant be precluded from operating and driving a commercial motor vehicle, including but not limited to semi-trucks. And then there is the rest of it. Order adjudicating probable cause and setting bail. Okay, so that's where the judge signed off on all of that. And let's see here. Count 1. And this just brings us through all the counts, through what it is. Count 1, 2, 3, and count 4. And then State of Indiana's motion to seal. This is where they filed to seal the warrant. Order on State of Indiana's motion to seal. And that's the end of it. So before I go back here to the comments just briefly, let me go back up here real quick, and I want to get this, I want to look at these. Level 5 is punishable by 1 to 6. So 6, 2.5, 2.5, and 180. Okay, now let me come back on screen here and chat with y'all for a minute. No, they did not set bail. He is without bail currently as until he goes to court. As of right now, there is no bail. Okay, so I'll say this. He probably is going to do. I could see him maybe doing 6 years. I don't know that I don't know that he can. I don't know that he can. I don't know that he's going to do a lot. And I would really like off screen. I would really like to sit and talk to you and talk over different things and find out. Talk about this Hoffman thing, and I am perfectly fine with people not liking him. Rachel does not like him at all, and we battle this out a lot. I know him like personally, and of course that's my bias. I get a bias there because I personally know him. But outside of knowing him, because I can know people and like people and say that person sucks. I know what he puts into the job, and I know the things that they will let people slide on, that people would want to let people slide on, and I know the things that he fights for. But I would like to talk to you about that and find that out. I don't know that this guy should be, I don't know that his life should be ruined. Obviously, Corporal Reynolds' life was ruined. Obviously, his family's lives were forever changed in terrible and tragic ways. But I think that for the most part, this was a god-awful, horrible, tragic accident. I do think that the driver, when you're driving a vehicle like that, was doing things that he should not have been doing. Do I think that he should spend, obviously he's not going to spend 20, 30, 40 years in prison. It's just not going to be like that. Is he going to do 6 years in prison? Does he deserve 6 years in prison? I don't think he deserves 6 years. I don't know what he deserves. I do think that he deserves time. I don't know how much time. Obviously, there's other factors here. He is innocent until proven guilty. That's the number one thing. These are all allegations. If he's proven guilty of what they are saying, if he's proven guilty, or if he pleads guilty to what they're giving him here, I think what would be appropriate would be 3 to 5 years. That's just that's my opinion. 3 to 5 years, meaning at the time he's given that, he'll get time for time served. And so we'll just have to see what goes on there. But he deserves his time he gets sentenced to. Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying, I know that sometimes I'll give you a perfect example. It's like the horrible accident of that person that shot the cleaning lady down in Whitestown. You know? That was a horrible, tragic accident. And this is a horrible, tragic accident that happened here. I don't think this guy wanted to kill anybody. You know, I don't know why he had been awake for 21 hours without sleeping and was fucking with his phone. That's stupid, you know? But I guess time will tell. Okay, before we roll out of here, I do have to talk about what are you saying? Wait, what are you saying? I don't agree. Driving well past time, fucking with his phone. What are you saying? That you think he should get a lot of time?
I don't necessarily think he should get a lot of time. I'm going to say that you're leaning more towards leniency than I am. That's all.
You're saying I'm leaning more towards leniency?
A little bit, yeah.
I get it. I get it.
I don't think he needs to go away for life, but I'm saying the circumstances around this accident, and yes, I agree, he did not set out that day planning to kill someone, but he set himself up in a position where he was likely to hurt someone.
Yeah. Yeah. Driving a truck and working for the government is the riskiest business that you can go into. I had a CDL and drove for 5 years, both tractor trailer and charter bus. He deserves what he gets. All right. That's fair. That's fair. And he's a young man, so let's be honest. 6 years, it's not gonna break him. You know what I mean? So it's not like, I mean, you know, I wouldn't want to do 6 years in prison. Catch me if you can. But, you know, don't ever give me bail, let me tell you. Just FYI. You give me bail, I'm out of here. You'll never see me again. Just making it be clear. So, I don't know. We'll see. Don't be fucking with your phone out there. All right. Hey, the last thing that we got to talk about, we'll obviously follow this. I hate this for the driver's family. I mean, obviously the driver has family. I hate this for them. He killed somebody. I hate this for him in his mind. You know what I mean? Just for the record, you can legally drive for 16 hours 1 day a week. What does that mean, David Williams? What's the rest of the time how much can you drive for? If you can legally drive for 16 hours 1 day a week, the rest of the time you can what? Drive 10? Is that what you're saying, Kate? Now your face isn't moving. Oh, your face is moving up there. Okay. Maybe he will go into construction when he gets out. Maybe he will. Hey, maybe he can get this all expunged and he can become a cop. You know what I mean? We've heard of that. That happens at least once. Yeah. Yes, I did. Just for the record, you can legally drive for 16 hours 1 day a week. I don't know what you're saying, hours of service. You're saying half sentences, David. What are you doing down there, bro? Okay. Last bit of nonsense. 14 hours every other day. Over hours driving, over hours of service, only allowed 15 hours of service and 10 hours of driving, using his phone while driving and not allowed. 16 hours 1 day a week as long as there's a detour or construction. Okay, well, my neighbor has a business mowing the state highways. He hires a lot of ex-cons. Well, he could always do that. Working on the side of the road, very dangerous job. Maybe that would be interesting. I would not do that. Let me put it to you right now. I would put on a bulletproof vest and pick up any number of my guns and run straight towards fire before I would work on the side of the road, on the side of a highway. Never, ever, ever. I would run into a burning building with no protective gear before I would work on the side of the roadway. That shit scares the hell out of me. Traffic stops in the city, and no problem with that. Working traffic on the side of the road on the highway, ain't no way, man. No way. Shut that shit down. I don't want nothing coming or going. That's crazy. Working on the side of the highway, those people doing construction, doing that shit that Aldi does, and those construction workers, man, no way. No way. No way. Yes, sir, it's me. Waiting for a little bit of scruff to grow through, thank God. I'm tired of looking like a baby face. All right, hey, last bit of nonsense we got to talk about. From a truck wreck to a train wreck, Henry County train wreck, Sheriff John M. Sproles, man. I'll tell you, Sproles train wreck tonight was worse than the truck wreck we just got done talking about. It was bad, too. Bad. I am not recommending people go watch it. I can't even honestly say people should go watch the crap. It was awful. It was legitimately awful. Amy said that Connie's actually coming after her now. Connie is, listen, it's in my opinion, Connie is a psychopath. Something is very crazy. Yes, there were only like 2 or 3 important topics. And every one of those he had Josh answer. Everything else, it was stupid. So for anybody that wants to see this, you can see it on our feed. You simply go to the political spotlight and you look for the live video that says Henry County Sheriff John M. Sproles. And it's the 3rd session. There's 3 of them. There's the first session on April 6th, the second session on April 20th, and the 3rd session on April 27th. So that's how that went. And the deal, the show they put on this time, somebody said that he actually brought up the bingo game. Now, I did not hear that. Kate did not hear that. If there's anybody out there that can confirm this, I would like to try to find it. I don't know when he would have said it. I listened to it all. Wait, not so fast. When did he say something about it? What do you mean? When did he say it? Was it close to the beginning? Was it in the middle? Was it in the end? Where were we? Please confirm so we don't have to watch it again. No, we gotta watch it when he's talking about the we gotta watch it when they're talking about the bingo game. My whole thing was trying to change his behavior. The whole point of Brando and Kate come up with the bingo deal. It was mostly a Brandon deal, and then Kate helped out with some of the sprinkles on top. And I thought it was brilliant. That being said, the sole reason that I wanted to do it was to get into his head and make him change his behavior. And I think by the 3rd run, we did that. I think he did it. We did it. We did it. Yay! I couldn't believe how rude he was. Shane Dick asked a question, so John Dick Sproles gave the answer. I cannot believe what an insufferable dickhead this guy was. Absolutely ridiculous. More concerned about telling people, well, I'm not going to answer if you live outside Henry County because laws are different in different states. No, the laws are the same county to county, all throughout the state of Indiana, you dipshit. He's such an idiot. Such an idiot. Okay, let's find out.
There was $8+ million in unallotted funds. That's, yes. I don't. 28 merit debt. That was a very, very tough decision, but just due to liability and potential insurance claims.
Tipped off. I shared it to his wall like last night.
We are looking at.
I tipped him off
regularly, and I, whether they're in 24-hour holding or not, I don't have an issue with if they within your probationary year. I
listen to this.
Deputies have to eat, and that we try to. Bibles in the jail.
So listen to this. So there's a concern, and it's just funny. I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and I let people say it. I just don't say much. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand. I understand why people are worried, but it's, I get it. So the big question always is, why do cops always glob up together and eat together? Okay, well, let me explain to you how it works in the city of Muncie. Muncie, that does not happen. You might get two or three cops that eat together, but the rest of them are out working. You ask for your time off, or you can swing through and get something to eat in the car and not do it, but you ask for your break and they give it to you. And maybe they give it to you or they tell you to hold off or whatever. And only a couple people. Now, midnights, they'll go, they'll kind of all get together and they'll go eat at a 24-hour place. And, you're in the city. It's not like they're going to Anderson to eat. If they get a call, they just quickly go to it, I don't have as big a deal or big a problem as officers, buddying up and going to eat somewhere. You can get to where you're going in the county. I don't have a problem with that. Some people have an issue with it. They're like, well, they should be out patrolling. Only one cop should go and eat at a time. To me, there's much bigger fish to fry. But somebody asked this question, and I think that Sproles could have answered this in any number of ways possible. But listen to him. Listen to this. Listen to this. Somebody asks him a question that's not showing him just absolute love and admiration. And listen to his tone change. I also heard it when Jeremy Godsey asked him the question. And he said, oh, Jeremy Godsey, huh? Ooh, it's just like, dude, shut up. I asked him. That was a question I legitimately asked. Why, when somebody asks you a question and they're not immediately favorable and loving to you, why do you answer in a way that makes you sound like an absolute right dickhead? Now, they didn't answer that. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't tell me. But, all right, listen to this. Here we go. All right, thank you, not so fast.
24-hour holding. Any news on that? Good question, Duella. We have, whether they're in 24-hour holding or not. And if you want a Korean, we're going to.
Okay, here we go. Here's the question.
So I've heard a lot of comments on that. We are not, we do not,
No, he's not. Somebody is. They're at a church or at a funeral home or something.
Shane Dick.
Listen, Shane Dick. Now listen to what he says to Shane here.
Is a big fan of yours, I know. Yes.
From his comments.
Vocally, yes.
Very vocally. asks, why do you allow all deputies on duty to eat at the same time? Who is patrolling the county when they are all 10-7 at the same time?
Mm-hmm. Well, our deputies have to eat. You all know that. And so there is, I believe in team effort. And as you well know, I think you spent 1 year as a police officer, that there is something to say for, building team and camaraderie. So, we hear about patrol. We respond to emergencies, and patrol is good. We need patrol. But picking on officers eating together at the same time is pretty small, Shane. So I don't know what else to say to you, Shane. Yeah. But that's I doubt when you were a police officer in your short stint there, I guess it was within your probationary year. I doubt you ate separate yourself. So.
Do the one-day camp once Angela Moore, it looks like, has a suggestion.
Okay.
Do one-day camp once a month.
I just couldn't believe his answer. So, okay.
Good. So that's a.
Now we're going to go on in here.
Happened because I don't answer to you. I answer to the voters. So we've taken a lot of flack. I have records of all kinds of things. We're short-staffed. It was a terrible, and very first commissioner meeting that I had as a new sheriff.
Yeah, listen to this.
It was my time to speak, so I got up and gave a report of the condition of the sheriff's office, and it was terrible. I get it. The report was terrible. We owe $250,000 or more. We don't have records of all kinds of things. We're short-staffed. It was a terrible, and I had a commissioner. I'll never forget this. She is no longer a commissioner.
Bobby Plummer. She's a counselor.
She said after that first meeting came right up to me and said, "Don't you ever," and pointed her finger at me, "don't you ever get up here and just say whatever you want to say. That makes us look stupid." It's the exact words. And she said, "You're going to email me before you get up here, and you're going to tell me what you're going to talk about before you talk about it." And I said, "It'll never happen because I don't answer to you. I answer to the voters." So we've taken a lot of flack. All of this, John's making the county go broke. John's making the insurance go up. We can't afford insurance because of John. We're dealing with a national crisis in this area. It's easy to Google, and that will be one of the bingo items for you all who are playing Sproul's Bingo. Google it. So I am.
Listen, I would love to have this asshole on. Here's what kills me. Here's what kills me about this guy, all right? I'm going to tell you. He is a dumbass. He's not a good guy. But he does have a weird sense of humor. And there are some times that I like his sense of humor. Like some weird things, like that was a freaking weird thing that he said. And that lets me know, like, that's hilarious to me. That's hilarious. Yeah, Stumblefoot. That's exactly. It's like he was. That wasn't him saying it. He was like recreating it. He was pointing directly at me, maybe. For those of you that are paying it, for those of you that are playing it, that's hilarious to me. I find that he's such a weird guy, and that is why I know. That's why I know. When he says things like, I don't get caught up in this, in the social media drama and I don't get caught up in this and that. I know that he's full of shit. Absolutely beyond all reasonable doubt, he's full of shit because he eats it up. It's all he's about. It's all he is about. That's all. You know, he's into it all. And if you get him in the right mood, he'll get in there and he'll fight and he'll act crazy and he'll do all that stuff. So yeah, absolutely, beyond all shadow of a doubt, he is you know, it's just it's nuts. And so I think that we got inside of his head. And I think that we accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. So I'm happy with that. Kimbrell got sentenced to 12 years, by the way. He got sentenced to 12 years, thank God. And that's still 22 years too few. Throw away the key, as far as I'm concerned. 12 years in prison. He won't do that much. And he'll do I think they said 75% of or something like that. So that's what the deal is. Oh yeah, he's got his own playlist. I've created his own playlist. I think he just has it on repeat constantly. But look, I'm not going through. Look at those pictures. Look at that picture of him. That's just I gotta print that because there again, I keep getting all of these amazing screenshots of these faces that he does. He does all these weird faces, man. Always strange, the faces that he makes. But this third Q&A, they had a little bit harder time getting people to ask questions. The questions they did get were mostly fillers, mostly plants, mostly people saying, you know, tell us what your favorite color of ice cream is. White. What's your favorite color of person? White. You know. What's your favorite activity? Anybody but my wife. You know, things, you know, whatever. I just feel like they ask him all these easy questions, and he spent a lot of time, you know, angrily telling people, like, we're not going to answer your questions. If you're, you know, I get threatened, my death threats against my life from Australia and from Japan. Dude, what? I mean, don't even mention those. Those are stupid. You're being threatened from Australia? Okay, bro. You know, I will let you know the next time somebody tells me they're going to shoot me coming out of the Muncie City Council meeting. You know, how frequently that happens. I'll let you know the next time that happens, Sproles. You know, tell me about it when somebody threatens you from Australia. Get the hell out of here. Google it. Google it, John. Google it. Google it. I'm going to start saying some of his phrases. The one that Kate doesn't like is Kate doesn't say, don't know him from Adam. I can't say that, but I am going to start saying some of them. I'm going to start saying, what am I going to say? Oh, I got rid of it. I'm going to say, okay, I can pull it up here. I'm going to start saying specifically, I'm going to say, well, I can't say ambulance. That's horrible. I'm going to mention Christopher Bilbrey. I'm definitely going to mention Mark Nicholson. I talk about culture change all the time, and he did change the culture. I'm going to talk about haters. Obviously, not trying to be ugly. Facts, not feelings. We talk about facts over feelings. We talk about facts over feelings. That's just so ridiculous. Casting a wide net. I'm going to cast a wide net. Mention on social media. Mention on social. He says social media weird. Social media. He's got a weird accent. I'd like to be able to do that accent. Just weird. Did you hear him the other day say, I was born in Knoxville, Tennessee? You hear him say that when he said that? When on the Boss Hogs of Liberty? That was really weird. Really weird. Okay, hey, the last thing about Sproles that I'm going to say. Ha 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 ha, Amy. I love it. I love it. The last thing that I want to say is about his breaking news the other day. He had this great big breaking news thing that he released. Hard to get a visa when you can. We know you, kid. We know you, kid. We know you, kid. I forgot you're from out of the country. Are you threatening the sheriff from over there? You nut job. Good Lord. You're going to get us in trouble. And they're going to be like, Bilbrey's laughing about it. I'm like, look, you got to know the audience. It's the same thing as Sproles saying bingo. You know, they're just jokes, bro. Just jokes. No one's coming to get you. You're safe. God, did you hear him throw out the thing he said like Trump? Oh, I'm like Trump because they only come after you when you're making change and you're doing really good stuff. That's the only time they come after you. That's the reason everyone's coming after me, you know, because I'm really doing big stuff and good stuff. We're doing lots of good stuff here. So ridiculous. So the other night on the Boss Hogs of Liberty, he does say mental health weird too. Hey, Mary, I need to talk with you. Maybe I'll give you a call tomorrow. Check this out. Oh, I hit the wrong play button. Check this out.
This is going to be the place I'm going to break some breaking information, okay? I put a video out regarding the Nick Gully situation, putting out the facts up front. And of course, you know, it has been a wild fiasco of social media chatter, but there has been an investigation from the highest investigating agency on the federal level. It has been completed in that case. This is breaking news. And it has been determined there was no wrong done. That's breaking news on your show. I'm breaking that.
Which organization investigated?
I'm going to leave it at the way I stated.
Okay.
Yes, because that's the way they requested me to leave it.
Sheriff, when was that decided?
It was decided 2 days ago. It might have been 3.
That's it. So I see this weirdness. I hear this weirdness. And I hear him say, this has been investigated from the highest investigating agency. Now, I don't know if he's meaning the FBI or the DOJ, but there is nothing that he can do that can convince me that the FBI investigated this situation in a matter of less than a month. Is he referring to the Lord? God investigated him. That's a very good possibility. Yes, Amanda. You probably should be getting it in a couple, maybe another month or less. You should be getting it. That stuff takes some time. Mainly because they do the lab tests where they test all of the tissue samples they took, you know, to see what substances he may or may not have been on. and they'll verify stuff like that. But yeah, you should be getting that soon. But I agree. I just don't think that I don't think that they have. I don't think anybody's investigated him. I think if somebody did, once again, like the FBI, yeah, Justice League, yeah, I think he would rush out and say it. Just like when he said on the deal with the beanbag, oh, the FBI, they released me. They said I'm not under investigation. Everything's good. But he's never produced a document, never produced an email, never seen anything. Produce it, Mr. Sproles. Produce it, Henry County. I want to see it. I need to see it. And until I see it, you're a liar. Why wouldn't you be showing that out there to everybody? I don't believe it. And if you do have it, and if there is no legitimate reason for you to be holding on to it. That's nuts. That's nuts. Amanda, when he's talking about the autopsy, I think what he's referring to is the preliminary coroner's verdict that is released. And the coroner's verdict is another throwback to a old, long time ago law and actions that happened. And really, those things change all the time. That's just a preliminary guesstimate based on people's best guess at the time. Once they get all back the autopsy, reports and have all of the lab work done, that's when everything is then put together. But it's just, he will lie to make himself look better. That's why I don't believe this breaking news story. It's a high up source, the highest investigative agency, but they requested that I not tell you. I'm sorry, but I just don't believe that. From February 27th to now, there's no way that the feds did a full investigation. I don't think they could have even really started one. Yeah, right. I mean, that's just, right. Doesn't make sense one bit. That's true too. Yeah. Yes. That's exactly right. I will tell you this. I did send out an email asking questions and requesting information. And I will tell you, the email I sent out is as follows. Hello all. I'm sending this to a mix of Henry County officials, commissioners, the sheriff, the council, and the county attorney, Joel Harvey. Any and or all of you are free to answer if you know and or are aware of the answers to my questions. Here's the background followed by my question and then my record request. On Thursday, April 23rd, 2026, Sheriff John M. Sproles appeared on the Boss Hogs of Liberty podcast, better known as the Hog Balls, in Henry County, Indiana. During his appearance on the show, Sheriff Sproles made an interesting statement that I am following up on. I will provide a clip that is 33 seconds in length if it will help give you the gist. Wait a minute. I don't know what I'm saying. During his appearance on the show, Sheriff Sproles made an interesting statement that I'm following up on. I will provide a clip that is 53 seconds in length. It will give you the gist of what was said on the show. My question concerns what the sheriff said in that clip. Here's the link, and I provided that link. I said I will also provide a full transcript of what the sheriff said. Here, Sheriff Sproles. This is going to be a place I'm going to break some breaking information. Okay, I put a video out regarding the Nick Gawley situation, putting out the facts up front. And of course, you know, it has been a wild fiasco of social media chatter. But there has been an investigation from the highest investigating agency on the federal level, and it has been completed in that case. This is breaking news, and it has been determined that there was no wrong done. That's breaking news on your show. I'm breaking that. At that point, host Jeremiah Morrill then asked which organization investigated, at which point Sheriff Sproles replied, "I'm going to leave it at that way, the way I stated." At which point, host Morrill said, "Federal? Okay." Sheriff Sproles then said, "Yes, because that's the way they requested me to leave it." At that point, guest host and ironically elected Henry County Councilor Betsy Mills then speaks up and asks the sheriff sheriff, when was that decided? To which the sheriff says, it was decided 2 days ago. It might have been 3. So the questions I have are, which federal agency was he referring to? Please name the agency. Did they provide any documentation? What was the scope of the investigation? What did Sproles mean when he said, yes, because that's the way they're requesting me to leave it? Is he implying that a government agency investigated actions and or inactions at the jail involving inmate Nicholas Gawley, who died in the hospital after taking a turn for the worse inside the Henry County Jail, and that agency found that the jail and corrections officers did nothing wrong, but that after they announced that information, the agency wanted the sheriff's office to keep the findings secret? That makes no damn sense. And so I put that. I said, lastly, I want to know why the sheriff thought he could release the information claiming there was no wrongdoing connected with the incident involving Nicholas Gawley, his stay at the jail, or his death shortly thereafter. Below is my request for records under the Indiana Access to Public Record Act. I am requesting all emails to Sheriff John Sproles, Chief Deputy Josh Smith, and or any and all other employees of the Henry County Sheriff's Department, merit or jail side, as well as all other Henry County government officials, commissioners, counselors, clerk, auditor, and or county attorney. That would be from the federal agency in question that conducted this investigation that Sheriff Sproles mentioned. In the Boss Hog of Liberty interview, all emails that they would have sent before, during, and after the investigation. I am also requesting all emails that the federal agency sent back, all emails to the federal agency sent back from Sheriff Sproles, Chief Deputy John Smith, and any and all other employees or elected officials from Henry County Sheriff's Department and beyond, as well as all county officials, commissioners, counsel, clerk, auditor, county attorney, all emails that would have been sent before, during, or after the investigation. I am requesting all documentation that they have provided to the sheriff or to any other sheriff's department employee or anyone else in Henry County government that would be clearing the Henry County Sheriff's Department of any and or all wrongdoing in connection with the death of Nicholas Gawley and or his time in the Henry County Jail. So I sent that to everybody there, and I'm hoping to get a response tomorrow. I made some calls to Joel Harvey today, but I forgot that he was in meetings and was out of the office. So hopefully I will have some information on this soon. I will keep you guys posted. So that's where we are. I will let you know John Sproles is an absolute train wreck. If you guys elect him, you get what you get. I just don't know what else to say. Please just don't elect John Sproles. Like, I'm to the point where I'm okay begging. Just don't elect him. We also have some very important insurance information. I'm I'm trying to look. I've went through most of it now. I'm pretty good. We might talk about it tomorrow. Ooh, Wednesday, we finish up with the Henry County Sheriff's candidates with Jason Williams. We probably should decide to do it Wednesday, and then if we need to talk about it Thursday, we could carry over. We could talk about it on Wednesday after Williams, and then Thursday we have no candidates scheduled. So if we need to carry over into Thursday, so we could do a Wednesday and Thursday, because we have a big presentation to put together about the insurance to, in my opinion, refute a lot of the nonsense that Sproles has tried to push. And it's just absolutely crazy. So we'll keep you posted, let you know. We will be back tomorrow. Before you leave, if you could, we haven't been saying it because all the candidate interviews and all that nonsense, haven't said it in a minute. So if you could, smash that like button, do us a favor, because this has been a pretty big show. We put a lot into this one. So do that if you could. That would be great. And we also are going to be hopefully taking care of any further connectivity issues after tonight. So that's that. It always is. I love it. That's my favorite thing. I say what happens is Gingerson, that I am without facial hair, and when I first get my hair cut in the first couple days, it's the best impression that I have of, what's the chick's name I always say, the fat lesbian, that left and went to Ireland because she hated Trump. Rosie O'Donnell. Is that who it is? Rosie O'Donnell? I think that's who it is. So, yeah, you're going to have to get up early in the morning for me to give any two fucks about what you're saying, though. All right, you guys take care. God bless. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.